Hey guys, welcome back to Hallways of the Dead. I'm gonna see if I can actually get a good ending this time. Okay, so we want to... Let's see. Alright, so... I know I'm gonna need strength. Just don't know how much. I know I can get by on 4 intelligence and get the other ending. That leaves me with 5 left. If I dump that in my charisma, this looks pretty bad. So 5 strength, 1 endurance, so that I have some HP, I guess. I can't remember. I had 0 charisma last time. Let me take 1 more out of that and go with 2 endurance. Okay. Because there's some situations where I just kind of have to power through it. Okay, let's see what they did. Oh, it bumped me up to 6 HP. All right. Primary skill is strength. Let's do this. All right. I've done all this before. I'm not going to read this again. I will linger for a second if you guys want to read it yourselves. Pause it. All right. So, something I didn't try before was barricade the door. But I think that would just leave us in the same situation we were already in the other classroom. So what if we do this? The moment the screams outside sharpen into guttural howls and the shadows slam against the classroom door, Yume acts before panic swallows the room. She shoves the nearest desk forward, the legs screeching against the floor with a metallic groan that makes the other students flinch. The air smells of fear, sweat, dust, and the faint copper drifting in from the hall. Every sound feels magnified beneath the constant shrill of the emergency bell. "Help me," she cries, her voice cracking but firm enough to jolt a few frozen classmates into motion. Together they drag desks and chairs, the wood banging and splintering as the barricade rises, forming a jagged wall of furniture pressed tight against the thin door. The glass in the narrow window rattles violently as something slams against it from outside. Each thud vibrates the barricade, shaking bolts loose and threatening to break through. Students whimper and sob as they pile on bookshelves, their hands trembling, knuckles white from the effort. Yume braces her body against the makeshift barrier, teeth gritted, sweat sliding down her temples as she refuses to stop. The door handle jerks downward once, then twice, and rattles uncontrollably as the thing on the other side claws and beats against the frame, moaning low and hollow like a throat torn open. The desks tremble, the wooden barricade creaks as if it might collapse under the unseen weight pressing in. Dust falls from the ceiling with every violent hit, setting in Yume's hair and stinging her eyes, but she keeps pushing. Around her, classmates crouch with their hands over their ears, rocking back and forth while the others press their shoulders against the barricade in blind desperation. The safety that the classroom once offered has vanished, replaced by the suffocating dread of a cage. The barricade is no longer just a wall meant to keep something out. It has become a reminder that they are trapped inside, with only time standing between them and whatever hungers just beyond the glass. Plant your weight against the desks, refusing to let go. Shift the desks into place, hunting for a stronger angle. So that one is intelligence. That one is strength, but also probably endurance, which I don't have a whole lot of endurance. Let's try intelligence. Instead of throwing herself against the barricade, Yume drops to her knees, her eyes darting across the chaos of scattered desks and broken chairs. She grabs a snapped chair leg. Its end jagged and splintered, and wedges it tightly between two desk frames, locking them together at an angle. The wood groans as she twists it deeper, but the tension holds. She slides a fallen bookshelf forward, forcing the entire barricade to brace against itself instead of the door frame. Another heavy impact slams into the door, but this time the pile does not give. The shock ripples through the furniture and disperses into the wedge, turning wild force into fragile balance. The structure steadies, transformed from a heap of debris into a desperate, improvised brace strong enough to buy them time. Around her, the students stare in disbelief, their sobs fading as relief flickers across their pale faces. For a fleeting moment, Yume is no longer just another frightened classmate. She is the reason the nightmare outside remains trapped behind wood and steel, saved by her own quick thinking. Search the room for supplies, wait inside the classroom. Search. Yume forces her breathing to steady as the room quivers with hushed sobs and whispers, her classmates watching her with wide, glassy eyes. She tears herself away from the door and begins to move through the classroom, each step cautious, her ears straining from the muffled thuds and moans outside. Desks stand in crooked rows, some overturned in panic, their drawers half open and spilling pens, rulers, and notebooks across the floor. She crouches low, sliding her hands quickly through the clutter, the scrape of wood and the rattle of loose objects sounding far too loud in the suffocating silence. The air is stale with dust and sweat, carrying faint whiffs of blood from the hallway beyond. Each time the floor creaks beneath her shoes, her heart lurches as though the sound itself might draw the creatures closer. She pulls open the teacher's desk. Its contents scatter in a flurry of chalk and bandages from the school's first aid kit. She stuffs what she can into her arms. Knowing anything might make the difference between survival and helplessness. On the floor near her toppled backpack, she spots a half-empty water bottle and grabs it before moving on. All around her, the classroom that once held only lessons now feels like a carcass stripped bare, every item either useless clutter or fragile tool of survival. Through it all, Yume feels the weight of her classmates' eyes following her. Their silence begging her to find something, anything that can keep the nightmares scratching at the other side of the door from finally breaking through. Alright, so wait inside the classroom. Doesn't seem like that's going to do anything other than we just sit there waiting to die. Alright, so I have a water bottle and bandages. That's good. Let's investigate the hallway. Yume pushes the classroom door open just enough to slip into the hallway. The muffled chaos behind her fading into an eerie corridor lit by the flickering glow of half-dead fluorescent lights. The air outside feels heavier and colder, carrying the metallic tang of blood and the sour bite of sweat and decay. Each step creaks against the wooden floor, the sound unnaturally loud in the hush, as though the building itself is warning her to turn back. At first, the hallway looks empty, lockers dented from violent impacts. Okay, I've read this all before. I just got into the zone here. Bloom, peel. Alright, yeah, the thing is coming at me. Lower yourself and charge through before it reacts. So that's agility. Well, that's actually strength. This one's agility, so let's charge it. The hallway yawns ahead, but a lone zombie blocks the way. Jaw working its slow gnawing motions as it lurches towards her. The air reeks of rot, every groan vibrating through the narrow corridor. Yume squares her stance, her pulse thundering in her ears. She has no time to hesitate. With a sharp cry, she lowers her shoulder and charges. The impact slams through her bones like a shockwave. The corpse reels under the sudden force, its brittle frame crashing against the lockers, the hollow metallic crash. Arms flail, jaws snap, but Yume does not slow. She shoves with every ounce of strength, pressing past the thrashing figure before it can regain balance. She tears free. Alright, unscathed, that's good. Alright, head for the nurse's office in the storeroom. Okay, so this time, since I have 4 charisma, let's see what greeting the person will do. Alright, since I know I can save, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Let me save. Since we're trying very hard to actually escape this time. Okay, so whisper a greeting. Yume swallows hard, forcing her voice steady as she whispers into the silence. It's okay, I'm not one of them, come out. The curtain trembles, and a scared girl stumbles into view, messy hair, pale face streaked with tears, her whole body shaking, her wide eyes dart around the room before locking onto Yume. She flinches, backing against the wall. Don't come closer, she stammers, her voice high and raw from crying. Sorry I'm not doing voices, but my throat is already dry from reading this. Yume slowly raises her hands to show she means no harm, then pulls a half-full bottle of water from her bag and sets it on the floor between them. Here, you look thirsty, you can trust me. The girl stares at it, hesitates, then grabs the bottle with trembling fingers. She drinks greedily, coughing as the water dribbles down her chin before hugging it to her chest. Her breathing steadies, her shoulders sink, and at last her eyes soften. I thought I was going to die in here. The girl wipes her mouth, the back of her sleeve, eyes darting nervously to the door. This morning I saw the principal in the hallway. He was coughing so hard, blood running from his mouth. The teachers tried to help, but then her voice falters. She squeezes the bottle tighter. The man, he wasn't the same anymore. The student pulls her knees up to her chest, curling against the wall like a cornered animal. I don't want to leave this room. It's too dangerous. If I stay quiet, maybe they won't find me. Her voice drops to a whisper. So thin, Yume has to lean forward here. My brother once told me that there was a secret passage somewhere in the gym, a way outside. I don't know if it's true, but if you're brave enough to look. Her eyes glaze with fear again. She hugs herself, rocking slightly, then almost too quiet to hear, she adds, My name is Nami. After that, she falls silent, refusing to speak another word. I learned about the secret passage. Alright. Search for supplies. Alright, this is where we find the alcohol. Painkillers. Okay. Alright, so I have a bunch of medical supplies. Well, painkillers and bandages. I need the alcohol to make a Molotov later. Alright, Alright, that one worked out pretty good. We're gonna save again. Okay, I know I'm gonna go towards the storeroom. So this one's tricky. Last time I just used agility to get through, but I have 0 agility this time. So let's see what we can do here. So that's what I did last time. Plow through before hesitation kills the chance, draw their attention away with noise, then make the move. That sounds like the intelligent thing to do. Well, even if I plow through them, I might get hurt. Draw their attention. See what this does. Yume crouches low, her eyes scanning the corridor for anything useful. Her fingers close around a broken shard of chair wood. Rough and splintered, she draws a breath and hurls it down the far end of the hall. It hits the tiles with a crack that bounces off the walls with a gun, like a gunshot. The 3 corpses twitch, their heads snapping towards the noise, milky eyes widening as if awakened. One stumbles first, then the other follows. The others follow, shuffling hungrily after the sound. Their groans fade as they drift away from the door. Yume slips into the storeroom, heart hammering. Dust swirls in the slanted light, and there it is, a metal toolbox, lid slightly open beneath a toppled shelf. She snatches it up, the weight of the tools clattering inside, and slings it over her shoulder. Alright, take the stairs. Alright, so below, yep. Okay. So, we're going to go to the roof this time. I don't know if I can do anything on the roof, but we're going to try. So again, I'm gonna save real fast. Let's try to reach the roof. Alright, stairwell spirals upward until Yume reaches a heavy door. Okay, yep. And I could try to use a hairpin, but I know the toolbox will actually work. So let's check the toolbox. So yeah, let's explore the rooftop. Alright, yep, there's quarantine outside. Again, guys, I've already read this. If you haven't watched my other videos, go back and watch them. They're good. And you'll know what's happening. Okay, so we have a wounded student. So I could try to help her. I have intelligence and I have medical supplies. Okay. I think that worked this time. Yume kneels quickly at the wounded girl's side, forcing her shaking hands to steady. Hold on, I'll help you, she whispers, trying to sound calm, though panic swells in her chest. She rips open the first aid kit, pulling out bandages and painkillers scavenged earlier. The student winces as Yume presses the clean cloth to her wound, but Yume does not stop, wrapping layer after layer around her trembling body. Her fingers move faster, clumsy at first, then more precise, as desperation sharpens her focus. My name is Mina, she whispers, her voice raw and weak. Yume slips the painkiller pills into the girl's hand. Mina swallows them with a shudder, tears streaking down her pale face. Slowly her breathing steadies, her grip on Yume's sleeve loosens, though her eyes still shine with pain. You saved me, Mina whispers, her voice faint, but clear enough to hold Yume's full attention. I was in the gym. Mr. Gonzalo, the gym teacher, he came back from the teacher's room covered in blood. At first we thought he was hurt, but then he attacked. He tore into the students. Her lips tremble as she speaks, and her eyes glaze from the memory. I ran. I slammed the door behind me. After that, all I could hear were screams. With trembling hands, Mina fumbles in her pocket and presses a small worn gym key into Yume's palm. I grabbed this before I fled the gym. I don't know what it opens. Maybe it can help. Well, I didn't have that last time. I kept trying to get through the gym and kept dying. So maybe I can get through this time and not die. That also might open a possibility with the students in the classroom that, hey, I have a secret passage and a gym key. Yume squeezes the key tightly, feeling its weight like a fragile thread of hope. Mina sinks back against the bed, her strength spent. I'll hide here until rescue comes. That's all I can do now. Yume swallows hard, her chest tightening. She leans forward, clasping Mina's hand gently. I promise I'll reach help. Hold on until then. She tucks the key safely away, rises on shaky legs, and forces herself to leave the rooftop. The door creaks behind her as she returns to the stairwell, determination hardening beneath the grief and fear. Ahead lies the ground floor, and whatever fate waits the dark. Alright, take the stairs. Okay. Alright, so we cannot go back up. Save here. I don't remember what order I did this in last time, but I know the entrance hall just has the gate in it. I don't want to explore the gym yet because that's a death sentence if I do this. I gotta search the canteen to get the... Let's see. Try the courtyard. Because I know the cat is out here. And I have charisma points this time. Okay. Lure the zombie away from the bushes. Okay, that should work. And I know that's the cat. I'll try to save Puddin'. Yume crouches low, arms outstretched. her voice soft and coaxing. It's okay, Pudding. It's me, you're safe now. Her words are a whisper against the chaos of the courtyard, a fragile promise in a world gone wrong. The little cat huddles deeper into the bush, her green eyes wide with terror. She trembles so violently she leaves. The leaves around her shake, but she doesn't move. Her tail lashes once, twice, a warning you may ignore as she inches closer. Ah, well. Still didn't work. Okay. I might need an item. So that didn't work. I know there's people in the restrooms, and I didn't go in that before because I had no charisma, so let's see if I can do something with them. I'm gonna call out. At first, only silence answers Yume's voice, then muffled sobs from behind the door. She presses her hand to the wood. Please let me in, I'm not one of them. You'll be safer if we stay together. A long pause, then a shaky click. The door opens just enough for tear-streaked faces to peek out. Swollen eyes, raw from crying. Finally, it creaks open, and Yume slips inside. The restroom is dim, lit by a flickering bulb. A small cluster of students huddles near the sinks, some wrapped in makeshift cloth, others shaking violently, uniforms torn, wounds fresh. Fear clings to them like skin. In this fragile pocket of safety, Yume finally exhales. If she has painkillers or bandages, she can tend her wounds. It's not much, but here survival is measured in seconds. Okay, so I did use those up on the girl on the roof, but I'm not injured, so I'm fine. One boy speaks first, voice raw. We ran when it started. Gonzalo-sensei. He just snapped. There was blood everywhere. We barely got away. A girl beside him nods, lips trembling. We tried the main entrance. It's blocked. There's an iron grate, locked from the inside. No one can get out. Another girl hugs her knees, voice hoarse. I climbed up to the second floor window. I saw them, soldiers, armed, trucks, floodlights. The school surrounded, a quarantine. Her voice falters. I don't know if they're here to rescue us or just to keep us in. Yume's chest tightens. She kneels, offering quiet reassurance. She tells them they're not alone, and she'll do whatever it takes. Slowly, their sobs quiet. A few nod. One whispers, please come back. Another covers her ears. Okay, well, I found out the same thing as on the roof, so if I didn't go on the roof, I could just have come here. Yume swallows hard. I'll do what I can, just don't give up. She slips out, lock clicking behind her like a final line of defense. Okay. So, that's an alternative. If I got injured, I could go there and heal. I don't think there's anything dangerous in the dark room. Okay, darkness swallows, still missing. Photographs. Aha, that's where I find the library key. So the pictures, all those are any pictures I've unlocked from the endings, so I don't need to go do that. Okay. So I got the library key. I need to go to the canteen, the teacher's room. There's zombies in there, I'll get attacked. In the principal's office, I need to have a weapon. In the science lab, I don't think anything bad is in there. And that's also where I find the vaccine. Okay. Check the toolbox. Oh, wait a minute. Crap. I forgot. Okay, I know what to do. I need to go to the teacher's lounge, get the keys. I forgot. Okay, so let me save first, so I So after you do all that again, try the teacher's room. Alright. There's the teacher's room. Groans and throats. You know what? Wait a minute. Actually, I want to check the canteen. Because I didn't search the second room. And I want to try that. Yep. So check the pantry cabinet. And then she spots it. A lighter. Alright, so I have the lighter. Check the larder shelves. Let's see if there's anything in here. Yume rushes to the larder shelves, heart hammering, hands shaking as she claws through boxes and cans, her fingers hook clumsily around a stack of tins. With a sharp jerk, she sends the whole row tumbling. The crash is deafening. Oh, that's not good. Cans explode across the tiles. Maybe I needed agility. Every direction, metallic clattering echoing through the canteen like an alarm bell. A jar shatters against the floor, spraying glass and spoiled food at her feet. Yume freezes, panic crawling up her spine. Behind her, the cold room door erupts with furious pounding, the barricade splintering under the surge of dead weight. The moans rise into a frenzy, hollow throats roaring at the sound of her mistake. The door bulges outward, every strike, hinges screaming as the metal bends. Her hands twitch uselessly over the scattered mess. There's no time to pick anything up, not anymore. She knows in her bones the dead will be pouring through in seconds. Oh man, use your wits. So that's kind of the cheat. So it basically says, are you going to succeed or not? Yume stares at the scattered pots and overturned trays, her hands trembling over what scraps of food remain. She thinks to herself, I could keep searching, but it's pointless. The truth strikes her like a blade. Staying here in the kitchen is suicide. If I keep looting, I'll be trapped. The dead are almost out, and I'll never leave alive. Her mind hardens around the only choice left. Escape now. Supplies won't matter if I'm dead. Retrace your steps. Well, I want to know what's in the kitchen. It might not even tell me. It might just be like, you're dead. Oh, yeah, it does. It's drowned out by a deafening crash. The barricade goes, okay, so I'm dead. The first strike rakes across her shoulder, tearing cloth and skin. Another slams into her back, knocking her to the tiles. The world becomes a blur of teeth and nails, of heat and pain, and the hot spray of her own blood. Her screams dissolve into the frenzy, cut short as jaws close over her throat. Her eagerness betrays her. 1 second too greedy, 1 second too slow, and now the canteen is filled with the sound of flesh being torn. Yep. The fridge door rattles half open behind her, forgotten. She never sees what was inside. Okay. Yeah. Game over. Okay. So I need agility to get through there. Alright, so let's just grab the... Let's grab the lighter. Since that's all we can do. Alright. Now, I don't know if I can get through the gym. Because I don't have any agility. So my only choice would be to try to power through them. But I'm wondering if I get through the gym, there's a storeroom. If I can get there, there might be some kind of weapons I can get. So let's try the gym. Okay. Use everything you've got so far to reach the gym storage room. Or just use my wits. Alright, but only one right. Storeroom could be a way out, but only in the right conditions. She needs the key. About it. She won't be making inside the storeroom. Second, there has to be a safe exit once she's in there. Another door or passage, anything. Otherwise, she'd just be locking herself in a coffin. And third, the zombies. They crowd the gym floor. She needs a way to distract them, something to pull them away, long enough to slip through. Okay. Gotcha. It's kind of cheating telling me what I gotta do, but I did die in here several times, so... Alright, retrace my steps. Okay, so that's definitely an exit. Science lab. And I need the keys. So teachers room, alright. School. Do next. Alright. Drive yourself forward, teeth clenched before the creatures can block you. Edge closer, hand outstretched, hoping their eyes don't follow. Fumble for something to throw, anything to send their heads turning. I mean, that is intelligence, I guess. I can't... because if I use that up, I won't have it for the principal's office. Drive yourself forward, that uses strength, but I took a lot of damage last time. Well, let's try for distraction. His hands shake as she fumbles. Numa's strides falter and Numa's heart leaps. It says for a moment, that's not good. But the pause is short, too short. One corpse twitches, turning its head back towards her, then another and another. The last one's dead eyes fixed on her face. Numa's breath hitches, panic stealing her strength. She tries to scramble backwards to prepare another distraction, but she hesitates. Costs her. With a groaning chorus, the four surge forward as one. Ah, yeah. Yep. Okay, I'm dead. So... Alright, so, yeah, I didn't get in the canteen yet. Quickly. So the only option I got left is to power through, because I don't have enough intelligence to distract them. Alright, retrace my steps. Alright, so, teacher's room. Well, let's hope I have enough endurance, or I'm pretty dead. Either that or I gotta use my only weapon I have so far. Alright, pull back before it's too late. Retreating to the corridor, or... Let's try it. She knows there's no space for stealth, no chance for hesitation, only force. With a sharp breath, Yume throws herself forward, slamming into the first zombie with her shoulder. The impact sends a jolt through her bones, but the creature staggers back, snarling. Its clawed hands swipe at the air. Another lunges from the side, and Yume grabs its arm, twisting with every ounce of strength in her body until bone cracks beneath her grip. She shoves it down onto the tiles, her legs trembling from the effort, then rams her knee into the desk's edge to keep her footing. The other two close in, snarls echoing. Let's say snarls echoing in the narrow space, their fingers grazing her uniform as she thrusts forward. The desk rattles violently as she slams her fist down on it, snatching the key ring with her free hand. The metal bites into her palm, and a cold prise clenched in her trembling fingers. The dead press tighter, claws scraping her arms and shoulders, their weight crushing against her like a tide. With a raw cry, Yume braces her legs against the floor, muscles burning, and shoves back with all her might. The desk screeches, zombies stumble, and for a single breathless instant, the wall of death parts. She bursts through the gap, slamming her back into the door as it swings shut. Her chest heaving, blood roaring in her ears. The keys jangle in her grip, heavy as iron, but they are hers, won through violence of sheer will and strength. Alright. The hallway feels colder now, quieter as she clutches her prize. Every muscle shakes. Every breath is ragged, but she has proved something to herself in the moment. She can wrest survival from the dead with her own two hands. Nice. Alright, I took no damage. Save. Okay. So, next thing, science lab. So I have the keys. Open the door with the keys. proceed to the laboratory. Okay. Inspect the laboratory. The principal's recent trip. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Learned about that. Explore the storage. I got the vaccine. Okay. Next, principal's office. Alright, you may stop before the heavy oak door in the principal's office. Alright, choking sounds, voice. Open the door with keys. And there he is. Oh man, he's looking good with his upper mouth and crotch mouth. Alright, I got the principal's key. Or I'm gonna get the principal's key. Hurl yourself at the monstrosity, every muscle straining. That looks pretty bad for something made of teeth and tentacles. Snatch the gun of the tree, take the room. Make the room your cover. I guess that means just kind of sneak around the room. I don't have agility. Pleading for reason. I don't have probably enough charisma for that, so I'm going to torch his ass like I did last time. Bum. Got the principal's key. Okay. Alright, now we're going to save again because this is going to be whether I get an ending or not. So just... Okay. Alright, so explore the entrance. Remain calm. Return to your classrooms immediately. Barricade the doors. Do not attempt to open the main entrance under any circumstances. Alright, I know there's a padlock on it. We are going to use the principal's key. Alright. The principal's key slides into the lock. With surprising ease, Yume twists and the heavy mechanism gives way with a loud metallic click. The sound echoes across the entrance hall, bouncing off the walls like a gunshot. She pushes at the sliding grate. The iron bars scrape against the floor, shrieking in protest, every inch demanding her full strength. Her arms strain, shoulders burning, sweat stinging her eyes as she forces the door open. Then she hears it. A low moan from the far end of the hall. Another answers it. Closer this time, shadows shift in the flickering light. The noises on the lock and the grinding grate has woken them. Zombies begin to shuffle towards her, their movement quickening as their eyes fix on the living prey, fighting with the iron door. From the shattered window, more groans pour in, this time from outside. Most of the dead are forcing their way through the courtyard, spilling across the entrance in a tide of staggering bodies. The air thickens with the sound of scraping feet and guttural hunger, filling the hall with the weight of an oncoming horde. Yumi grits her teeth, forcing the grate open wider. The gap is still too narrow to slip through, and the dead are closing the distance. Their moans rise. Their footsteps grow louder. Every heartbeat brings them closer to tearing her away from the threshold of freedom. Alright. So, use my wits. Tell me if I'm going to succeed or not. She seizes the bars, her arms straining with a heavy grate shrieks against the floor. Sweat runs down her face. I don't have much endurance. It's probably going to not work. Her chest heaving as every muscle burns. The metal shifts, but only by inches, and the effort tears through her body like fire. It's almost impossible, she realizes, her mind racing even as the moans swell behind her. But maybe, just maybe, I could do it. If I had the strength, if I had the endurance to keep going no matter the pain. Yeah, I don't. I'd have to dump everything I got into strength and endurance. The scraping of claws echoes closer. Yeah. I can't do it. So now I gotta escape. Alright, run past the classroom. Alright, get in the classroom, continue to run. Alright, I'm gonna get... Okay, so I never tried the other classrooms, the other rooms. I know that the library, I have the key. So I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna see if I can get into a different room. What's in the art room here? Yuma throws herself against the art room door, yanking at the handle. It rattles but refuses to open. She slams her fist against the wood. "Let me in, please." From inside comes a sharp, trembling voice. "Go away, do not bring them here." Her stomach drops. Desks and easels scrape on the other side of the barricade is reinforced, shutting her out. She pounds on the door again, her voice breaking, but the only answer is silence. Behind her, the moans swell into a roar. Shadows stretch across the hallway as the zombies stagger closer, her arms reaching, their jaws opening wide. Their footsteps pound like her war drums, closing the distance second by second. Well, I don't know why this is on here twice. Unless that's a mistake. Alright, use my wits. Alright, go away, I can't open it. Her stomach twists. She won't let me in, not unless I can break through her fear. The thought slams into her like an ice, begging her. Now will only work. Truly convince her if I can sound calm, persuasive, and stronger than panic in her own voice. Only someone with real charisma could get through this moment. Behind her, the hallway erupts, dragging feet that are almost here. Okay. I think I found a glitch, because there's no... Okay, I found a glitch. Alright, reload. Okay, so I know somebody is in the art room. What's in the computer room? Yuma sprints down the corridor, her chest heaving, and crashes into the computer door. She seizes the handle and twists, locked. The reinforced glass in the door rattles, faintly reflecting her panicked face. Rows of dark monitors flicker dimly inside, but the interest will not give. Behind her, the ground. Okay, the dead are almost on her, the shadows stretching across the tiles, reaching doors every step. Her pulse hammers, presses against the door. She has only seconds to choose. She could try one of the random classrooms. Okay, so that's nothing. Okay, whatever she chooses, it must be now. Okay, I think something's glitching bad down here. That last choice. I don't have a whole lot of time. And I don't know if anything's actually in the computer room. Let's try it. She fumbles for another. None of them fit. Alright, I'm dead. Okay, so the computer room is definitely a no-go. Music room. Ooh, that's a new one. Yuma shoves the door open and stumbles inside, slamming it behind her. For a heartbeat, she thinks she is safe until the smell hits her. The room is thick with the stench of blood and spoilage. Broken instruments lie scattered across the floor, the strings snapped, brass dulled with gore. In the center of the room, two figures crouch over a corpse sprawled on the tiles. Flesh has been torn from the body in ragged strips, blood pooling beneath it. Feeding stops. Both zombies raise their heads in unison, their clouded eyes fix on her, their mouths dripping with strands of meat. For one frozen second, the room is silent except for the drip of blood onto the floor. Then they move. Chairs topple and music stands crash as the two corpses lunge forward, snarling. Their shrieks echo off the walls louder than any orchestra as they charge straight towards her. Alright, head towards the computer room, library, towards the classroom. Yeah, I don't know if I broke the thing or the coding isn't finished or what, but well, let's try what's the classrooms? Oh, that's not good. Yuma sprints to the nearest classroom door and slams against the handle, locked. She rattles it desperately, but it won't move. She tries another and another. Every door is sealed from the inside, desks and chairs stacked. Oh, they had the same idea, and they will not risk it for her. Her palms sting as she pounds against the wood, but the door stays shut. The hallway fills with stench of decay. The moans swell behind her. Cold fingers go. Okay. I'm dead. Yep. Okay. So, now I know at least. So the only thing to really go to, let's try the art room. Let's see if we can convince her to let us in. I don't know where this is going to go. Yume hammers her fist against the door. The art room until her knuckles ache. Please let me in. They right behind me. Her voice cracks with desperation, echoing down the corridor. From the other side comes only a muffled reply. No, I cannot. I'm sorry. The sound of furniture scraping against seals the answer. The barricade holds firm. Yume's eyes widen as the moans swell behind her. She spins around, but the corridor is already filled with staggering shapes. All right. Well, I don't have enough charisma. All right. Well, that seals it. Let's go to the library. All right, get inside. Use the library key. Okay, yep. All right, investigate. Now I have learned about the virus. I have pretty much all of the stuff, all of the answers. So I never figured out what was in the refrigerator. And I don't know what's in the other, or in the other room. All right, towards me. Be quiet. I think I chose the right one. Oh, it opens into the art room. Ah, that's where that girl was, but, yeah, I don't know. Oh, hell, like I said, we're just trying to see what everything does here, so. Yuma crawls desperately through the vent. Oh. Yeah, she's not gonna let me in. Fade outline of canvases and brushes visibly beyond. She slams her hand against the metal. Help me, please. A gasp answers her, followed by hurried footsteps. Fingers fumble at the grate, but too late. A guttural moan fills the vent behind her. A rotten hand claws into her ankle, raking deep. Pain sears through her body as blood smears the metal. Yume kicks wildly, screaming. The grate is wrenched open. Just in time, a pair of hands seizes her wrists, dragging her into the art room. As the zombie thrashes uselessly against the bars, the panel slams shut, locked into place. Yume collapses on the floor, clutching her leg. Blood seeps between her fingers, every pulse of pain making her vision blur. Took 3 points of damage. The girl who saved her drops beside her, face pale with shock. Paint stains mark her uniform, her eyes wide and glassy with fear. My name's Nellie, she stammers, pressing trembling hands against Yume's wound. I was painting here when it started. I locked myself inside. I didn't think I'd see anyone else. Yume gasps for air, her pain stabbing through her leg, while the room closes in, filled with canvases, brushes, and the faint smell of turpentine. Nellie forces a thin smile, despite the fear in her eyes. We should stay together. If we can't go back out there, maybe we can draw just for a while. It helps me forget. Her words are soft, almost childlike, but Yume sees the truth in her trembling hands and the tear-streaked cheeks. Both of them are only clinging to scraps of hope, locked in a room that may soon be their tomb. Well, I ain't gonna have help, so. Oh boy. Yume clasps Nellie's hand and speaks softly but firmly. We cannot stay here. If we wait, we will die. We have to move. For a moment, Nellie looks at the barricaded door, her eyes filled with fear. Then she nods, clutching the sketchbook to her chest. There is someone I cannot leave behind. My best friend, Deborah. She's in Class 2C. Ah, this might actually help me when I'm talking to them. The name makes you may pause. She remembers the girl waving to her earlier, begging her to come inside. Had been in that very classroom. They wait in silence until the moans outside fade, the shuffles of the dead slowly withdrawing into the distance. Then with a step, or a deep breath, they slide the barricade aside, and the hall is quiet but heavy with dread. Together they run, shoes slapping against the tiles, every shadow a threat. At last they reach the door marked 2C. Nellie presses against it and calls out, her voice trembling, "Deborah, it's me." There's a sharp gasp from within, then scrape of desks being dragged away. The door bursts open and a girl throws her arms around Nellie with desperate relief. "Nellie, you are alive." Deborah's wide eyes turn to Yume, and without hesitation she pulls them both inside. The barricade slams back into place, and for the first time in what feels like forever, Yume breathes without fear, clawing at her throat. The girl who waved her smiles faintly, though her lips tremble. She presses a half-full bottle of water into Yume's hands. "Here, drink. You look like you needed it." The cool liquid eases the burn in Yume's throat. She lowers the bottle to find the girl still watching her, trying to reassure her with a small, fragile smile. "My name is Deborah. This is Class 2C. Around them, a handful of students huddle in the corner, their faces pale, their uniforms torn. Whispers fill the room, arguments rising and breaking as they speak over each other. Some want to stay barricaded, others mutter about trying to reach the gates, or the roof, or anywhere that's not here. Deborah lowers her voice. "We have been trying to decide what to do, but no one can agree. Everyone is scared." Her eyes drift towards the blocked door, then back to Yume. Maybe you will know what is best. Join the student council. Alright, so... saves. Alright, so I'm just gonna delete those, save. Alright, this is gonna determine whether or not I get a good ending. Alright, classroom is dim. By one. Yep. Alright, they form a fragile council. I need to tell them something. Focus on escape routes. Focus on zombie characteristics. So this just chooses whose backup plan we go with if ours doesn't work. I want to go with escape routes because I know more than one. Alright. Human takes a breath, staying herself. If we stay here, we'll starve or worse. The only way to get out. I have seen some possibilities, but none are easy. The murmurs fade. All eyes are on her now. The main gate is sealed with a heavy sliding grate, and with the right distraction, it could be forced open, but the noise will draw every zombie in the courtyard. It is dangerous but direct. Her voice lowers. There's also the rooftop. If we reach it, we might signal for help or climb down if we are lucky, but the stairs are infested and the climb itself could be suicide. Finally, she glances towards the council. The vents could be an option. They connect parts of the school. Maybe they lead further out, but they are narrow, claustrophobic, and not all of us could fit. The room sinks into silence. Students whisper nervously, some leaning towards hope, others towards despair. Arata mutters, "The gate smashed through, fight our way out." Natsuko shakes her head. "We have to find a way to save every one of us." Hana shivers. "The rooftop, maybe soldiers could see us." Yudo types furiously, eyes filled. Picture on screen, the vents, low probability, but possible. Deborah looks at Yume, her voice trembling but steady. "Whichever path it is, you have seen the worst. We will need your judgment." Check the 5 students' reactions. The silence after Yume's words stretches. Heavy enough to crush the room, it is Natsuko who finally stands. Her back straight, her arms folded neatly across her chest. Her expression is calm, but her eyes are sharp, calculating. "Enough of this chaos," she says, her voice cutting through the murmur of the blade. "We cannot keep arguing. Barricading only delays the inevitable. Fighting them head-on is suicide. If we have to live, we need a plan, and a real one." The students quiet at once, hanging on her words. Natsuko's gaze sweeps across the room. The school is a trap. but it also has exits. We know the main gate, the rooftop, the vents. Each one has risks, but each one is possible if we're prepared. What we need is discipline, organization. If we plan an escape route for the entire class, if we move as one, we could break through, not just a handful of us, all of us. She adjusts her glasses, continues, her tone ice cold. That means rationing supplies, choosing the strongest to defend the weak. Yeah. Rada growls, pounding a fist against the desk. Order will not save us from tearing through the doors. We need warriors. Okay. Yep, I gotta convince each one of them. Alright, so let's start with Deborah. Since I saved her friend, she might side with me. And I also have charisma this time. Classroom hums with fearing debate, but Deborah sits apart, her eyes hollow and fixed on Yume. The air smells of dust and sweat, the barricaded door creaking under distant thuds. For a long moment, no one speaks. Then Deborah stands, her voice trembling but sharp enough to silence the room. Yep, you saved Nellie, she says quietly. She told me what you did out there. You did not have to, but you did. Yume steps forward, steady despite the tension. I could not leave her, and if we stay here, more people will die. The barricades will not hold forever. We move now, hit the main gate together. It is the only chance we have. The council murmurs, uncertainty thick in the air. Deborah looks around as the frightened faces of her classmates, students clutching books like shields, others whispering prayers under their breath. Then her gaze returns to Yume. You are right, she says, her voice breaking but resolute. If you saved her, maybe you can save the rest of us too. She nods once, firm this time. We will follow your plan, Yume. You have my support. Alright, so I got one. I know that I can get the one guy with intelligence of 4. Alright, the room exhales as though its spell breaks. Even the ones who opposed Yume now fall silent, watching Deborah with new eyes. Yume meets her gaze and nods in return, feeling the tide of fear slowly shift towards resolve. Try to convince Hannah. I have 4 charisma. Alright, Hannah clutched her sleeve, trembling, her voice barely above a whisper. We should just stay here, wait for help. If we go out, we will die. I can't. Her words ripple through the room, feeding the fear of the other students. She steps closer, her tone gentle but steady, her eyes fixed on Hannah's. Hannah, she says softly, you are right to be afraid, we all are, but hiding will not save us. You've heard the moans every hour they get closer. She had tears streaking her face, but it is too dangerous. Yume kneels, so their eyes meet. Her voice grows firmer. It is dangerous no matter what we do, but if we move, if we act together, there's a chance. If we distract the horde and open the gate, we can escape, we can live. That is better than waiting for death. The trembling in Hannah's shoulders does not stop, but her breathing slows. She stares at Yume, searching her face, clinging to her calm like a lifeline. Finally, Hannah nods, her voice breaking. Okay, I will follow you, just do not leave me behind. A sigh of relief spreads to the room. One more voice has turned toward Yume's plan. Okay, so I know Yudo will side with me. I read his before. Alright, a ripple of relief spreads through the class. Yume feels the balance shift. One more ally on her side. So that's 3. That's all I need. But let's see if we can get Arata with my 5 strength. Arata leans forward, his eyes burning with the reckless fire of someone who believes fists can solve everything. We don't need to hide or run. We fight. We kill them all, and the school is ours again. Students around him murmur nervously. Some emboldened, others terrified. His presence is heavy, dominating, but Yume refuses to yield. Ooh, I think I got him. She steps forward, squaring her shoulders, her voice sharp and unshaken. You think I have not fought them? She snaps, meeting his gaze head-on. I have pushed them back with my bare hands, slammed doors in their faces, risked my life every second to get here. Arata straightens, his smirk fading as her words cut through the tension. You want to fight. Yume continues, her fist tightening, then fight smart, 1 by 1, 2 by 2. You will be ripped apart. You might take a few down, but the horde will crush you. I've seen it happen. She steps closer, her voice rising with raw strength. But if you use that muscle where it matters, holding the line while we distract the horde at the gate, you can save everyone in this room. That is how you prove your strength. That is how you win. The room falls silent. Arata stares at her, his jaw tight, then lets out a slow breath. At last he cracks a grin, wry but not mocking. "Ah, you got guts," he says, leaning back. "All right, I will back you. If anyone can pull this off, it is someone who's willing to stand and fight, not just talk." For the first time, the balance tips. Arata is with her. All right. Let's see if we can get all 5. Nezuko stands with her arms crossed, her eyes narrow and calculating. Her voice cuts through the murmur like a blade. "Your plan is risky. Chaos is what kills. Discipline is what saves. Why should I support you?" The class waits, holding its breath. Yume steps forward, her tone firm but measured. Because discipline is not just above standing still, it's about acting with purpose. Right now, this classroom is a cage. Every hour we stay, the door weakens, the fear spreads. If we do nothing, our order dies away. Nezuko's eyes flicker, but she says nothing. Yume presses on. But if we act together, if we distract the horde and force the gate open, we move as one unit. No splinter groups, no panic, just order, discipline, and survival. That is what you want. Is it not control, not chaos? The silence stretches heavy and brittle. Finally, Nezuko exhales slowly, adjusting her glasses. Her cold expression softens by a fraction. "Very well. If we do this, it will be done properly, with planning, with structure. I will back your plan, but only because discipline demands direction. And right now, you are the only one offering it." Her words ripple through the class like a command, restoring a sense of grim order. With Nezuko's support, the council begins to align behind Yume. All right, I got all 5. The classroom has been a storm of voices, fear, anger, despair, but at last the arguments falter. The 5 figures at the head of Class 2C exchange long, heavy looks. Deborah is the first to speak, her voice soft but firm. "If Yume believes this is our best chance, I'll trust her. She's seen more than any of us." But Nezuko immediately interjects, her arms folded. "Then we must decide. Does this whole class move, or just her? 40 students crashing through the halls will be a massacre, noises, panic, chaos. We won't make it if 10 steps. Arata slams his fist against his desk. "We should all go. If we fight together, we can break through." Yuta shakes his head sharply, his voice edged on bitter logic. "No, numbers mean failure statistically. One has the best chance. The rest of us would only drag her down." Hana wipes her tears, whispering, I don't want to be left behind, but maybe he's right. Maybe only one of us can do it." Silence falls as all eyes turn to Deborah. She looks around the room, the pale faces of her classmates, the barricaded door trembling faintly under the weight of the dead beyond. Finally, she exhales, her voice breaking but steady. "We can't risk everyone. If Yume escapes, she can find help, soldiers, doctors, anyone. If we all go, we'll lose everything. But if she goes alone, we still have a chance." The council murmurs their agreement, reluctant but resolved. The students huddled in the corner straighten, their eyes shifting towards Yume. With a fragile spark of hope, the decision has been made. They will create the distraction together, but only Yume will step through the gate. She alone will carry their last chance for survival. For the first time since the nightmare began, Yume feels something stir between the weight of fear, not safety, not victory, but purpose. The fate of Class 2C now rests on her shoulders. Proceed with the plan. All right. The desks are pulled aside, the barricade crumbles behind them. 6 figures step into the hallway, Yume and the 5 leaders of Class 2C. The air outside is heavy with the stench of rot, the moans of the dead echoing through the darkened corridors. Every step could be their last. Hana moves first, despite her trembling hands clutching the bundle of broken bottles. She scatters them across the tiles in a wide arc. The shards glitter faintly in the dim light, a fragile alarm system. The sound of glass crunching under any undead foot will give them seconds of warning. Fear guides her, but tonight fear becomes her weapon. Natsuko takes her place next. She raises the beam of her flashlight, brief but sharp, illuminating the route she marked in her notebook. Her voice is cold and steady as she whispers commands, signals timing, fallback points. She drills discipline into their chaos, turning panicked teenagers into a unit. Without her orders, they would scatter like prey. From the shadows ahead, the first zombie staggers forward, its jaw hanging loose, fingers clawing for flesh. Arata does not hesitate. With a roar, he charges, his iron pipe swinging wide. The crack of bone splits the silence and the corpse collapses, its head broken like a rotten fruit. The others flinch at the violence, but Arata only tightens his grip. "Keep moving," he growls. His voice, or his muscles, the shield between them and death. I have water. I do have water. Okay. The noise draws more. Their moans swell, shuffling feet dragging closer. That is when Yuto acts. He kneels by the wall, his laptop connected to the school's hacked fire alarm system. With a final keystroke, a shriek of static and sirens explodes down the far corridor. The horde turns as one, lured away by the mechanical scream. Cold logic has brought them their window, but the sound rattles every bone in their bodies, reminding them what hunts so close. "Now," Deborah commands, her voice firm and unshaking. She grips Yume's hand, pulling her forward with unexpected strength. Her presence is the anchor, steadying the others when terror threatens to break them. Even as the moans rise again behind them, Deborah's calm cuts through, a reminder of why they fight, to protect the helpless, huddled back in Class 2C. At the center of it all is Yume. Her heart pounds, her breath sharp in her chest. She weaves through the chaos with quiet, agile steps, ducking low, slipping past shadows that reach for her. Every moment feels like running along a nice edge, but she does not falter. The others clear the way, but it is her speed, her presence, her will that carries the plan forward. At last, the heavy grate looms before her. The lock is already waiting. She shoves the key inside, her hands slick with sweat, twisting it until the click of metal echoes like thunder. The gate groans as she pushes, the sound tearing through the hall like a scream. The dead turn, dozens of them. "Go, Yume," Deborah cries. Arata roars, swinging again, blood spraying the walls. Hannah shrieks but holds her ground. Natsuko barks orders, forcing them into a defensive line. Yuto slams his laptop shut, eyes blazing with grim resolve. Yume throws her weight against the grate, the metal finally sliding open, just wide enough. She slips through, the night air rushing into her lungs. Cold and sharp like freedom itself, she turns once, just once, and sees them 5 figures holding the line, their silhouettes framed by the dim light of the hall. Heroes born not of strength, but of desperation. Then the grate slams shut behind her. She's alone now, but beyond these walls, she carries all of them, their sacrifices, their hope, their last chance. Run towards your freedom. Slowly exit the school with your hands raised. I wonder which one won't kill me. I don't know, I might look like a zombie if I come out with my arms in the air. Yume steps carefully through the familiar hall. Man, I should have saved just in case this is the wrong choice. Yume steps carefully through the familiar hall, sunlight filtering through the shattered windows. Her chest tightens with every step. The rumors are true. Armed soldiers surround the school. This is not just a trap of the dead, it is a prison sealed by the living. At the main gate, the daylight blinds her for a moment. Beyond the gate, soldiers in full gear stand ready, rifles raised, their silhouettes stark against the clear sky. Outside the walls, columns of smoke rise from the burning village, drifting above rooftops consumed by fire. She raises her hands slowly, palms trembling. I'm alive, she whispers, though her voice cracks. She takes a cautious step forward. The answer is immediate. A rifle shot rings out, striking the ground at her feet. The sound tears through the air, louder than her heartbeat. Dust sprays her legs as she stumbles back. Stop, a soldier shouts, his voice sharp and merciless. Don't move, no one leaves the school, orders are clear. The rifles remain aimed. Sunlight gleams off of steel and helmets, faceless behind their visors. Yume stands frozen, realizing she escaped the dead only to be caged by the living. Try to convince them to let you go. Slowly walk backwards. Convince the soldiers using the cure you found. Aha. Yume stands frozen before the rifles, the soldier's voice is sharp. No one leaves the school. Her pleas fall flat, every word drowned by the hard line of orders. Desperation drives her to the only thing she has left, the briefcase. She raises it high with trembling arms. This isn't just mine, it's the cure. Professor Emmett discovered it. If you kill me, it's lost forever. For a moment, the air stills. Soldiers glance at one another, their fingers tense on their triggers. Then, with a sharp motion, an officer steps forward. He barks a command and rifles lower. Rough hands seize Yume, pulling her towards the convoy. Another soldier tears the briefcase from her grasp, snapping the locks shut and securing it under his arm. The cure is no longer hers. The truck doors slam behind her, the stench of oil and metal filling her lungs. Through the narrow slit in the steel, she watches. The gate behind her groans, then bursts open. Dozens of zombies pour out, staggering, shrieking, flooding into the sunlight. The soldiers erupt into action, rifles firing in a deafening chorus. Bullets tear through the horde as the dead swarm forward, spilling over each other in their hunger. The truck lurches into motion, Yume's last glimpse of the school is of muzzle flashes and collapsing bodies, the courtyard drowned in smoke and screams. Beyond her, village burns. Flames devour rooftop, black smoke twisting into the bright sky. The chaos already spreading too far for anyone to contain. Yume clutches her knees to her chest. As the convoy speeds away, the cure is out of her hands, her fate swallowed by the machinery of the military. Whether she has been saved, imprisoned, or simply repurposed is no longer hers to decide. Ending 1. Ride-sharing service, huh? Okay. Interesting. So, I escaped. That's kind of a good ending. I think I know how to get through the gym. I have to get to the fridge in the canteen, and I bet there's food in there that I can use to tame the cat. And then I use the cat as a distraction to get through the gym. So, I think I have to have high agility to do that. So charisma doesn't seem to matter with the cat. So if I sacrifice intelligence and pour that into agility, I think I could get through the gym. I'm going to cut it off right there. On the next one, I'm going to try to get through the gym. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.